Hey there, it's your friendly pro here with Level Up RN. Today we're going to talk about how much water you should drink daily. How do you know how much you should drink? Well, this can vary person to person. And in this video, I will be covering general guidelines that apply to most people. We'll also go over some situations where you need to drink more or less water than usual. Hey there, it's your friendly pro here with Level Up RN. Today we're going to talk about how much water you should drink daily. How do you know how much you should drink? Well, this can vary person to person. And in this video, I will be covering general guidelines that apply to most people. We'll also go over some situations where you need to drink more or less water than usual. The amount of water you need depends on your age, your weight, and how active you are. There is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to hydration. However, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine has set some recommendations for both men and women. For adult women, they recommend 11 cups, or 2.7 liters of fluids per day. Adult men need about 15 cups, or 3.7 liters of fluids daily. Remember, these are just guidelines. Depending on your situation, you may need more or less than what's recommended here. The amount of water you need depends on your age, your weight, and how active you are. There is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to hydration. However, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine has set some recommendations for both men and women. For adult women, they recommend 11 cups, or 2.7 liters of fluids per day. Adult men need about 15 cups, or 3.7 liters of fluids daily. Remember, these are just guidelines. Depending on your situation, you may need more or less than what's recommended here. Now, I get asked all the time if I should be drinking water from a bottle, or should I be drinking tap water? Well, I have a whole video on that, so I'm going to link that below. Give it a watch after this one. So let's go through some factors that can influence how much water you should be drinking. Number 1, your climate. Hotter and more humid climates means that you're going to be sweating more and thus losing more water. So you're going to need to replace those fluids. If you live in a colder, drier climate, you may not sweat as much, and therefore you won't lose as much water. Next is your activity level. Are you fairly sedentary, or do you work out often? You're outside working, playing sports, or are you inside working in an office? All of these things can influence how much water you need to drink. Let's say you go for a walk. By the end of that walk, you're probably going to be sweating. That's water that you've lost. If you go for a swim, you're going to lose even more water because you're probably swimming for longer than a walk, and you're really increasing your heart rate and you're sweating. The more physical activity you do, the more water you're going to lose, and the more water you're going to need to drink to stay properly hydrated. Next is pregnancy and breastfeeding. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you'll need to drink more water than usual. This is because you're not only hydrating yourself, but you're hydrating the baby, or hydrating both you and the baby. Your body will let you know if you're not getting enough fluids while you're pregnant or breastfeeding. You'll probably notice that you're thirstier than usual. It's very important that you listen to your body and drink the extra fluids that you need. Finally, the last factor that influences how much water you should drink is your overall health. Certain medical conditions can affect your fluid needs. For example, if you have kidney disease, your doctor may limit how much water you drink because your kidneys may not be able to get rid of excess water effectively. I have another video about kidney disease, so I'll link that below as well. Conditions like diabetes and some digestive disorders can cause you to lose more water through frequent urination. In this case, you're going to need to drink more water to compensate for the losses. And then finally, if you're experiencing vomiting or diarrhea, you will lose a lot of water and electrolytes. It's important to replace those fluids and electrolytes to prevent dehydration. So let's talk about some signs that you may be dehydrated. You may be thinking, okay, well, I'm thirsty, so I'm dehydrated, right? Well, yes, that is a sign of dehydration, but that's not the only sign. So let's review some other signs of dehydration. First one is dry mouth. If you don't have saliva, it could mean that you're dehydrated. Next is dark yellow urine. Another thing is when you're dehydrated is that you don't have as much urine output, so your urine will be more concentrated and thus more yellow. Next is dizziness when you stand up. If you're dehydrated, your blood pressure can drop, and that can make you feel lightheaded when you stand up too fast. Next is headaches, muscle pain, and fatigue. If you're exercising and you're not properly hydrated, you're probably not going to have the energy that you need to complete that exercise. So that can be a sign that you're dehydrated. And then finally, constipation. When you're dehydrated, your body slows down the movement of food through your digestive tract in order to conserve water. and this can result in constipation. So now let's talk about what you can do to stay hydrated. No, one is buy a water bottle that you like. There are so many different types and styles of bottles out there. So find one that you really like and then carry it around with you during the day. It's also helpful to get a reusable water bottle that you can refill throughout the day. Next is make water more flavorful. If you find that you don't like drinking plain water, there are ways to make it more flavorful. You can add slices of lemon, lime, or orange to your water. You can add fresh mint or basil leaves or even cucumbers. All of these are great ways to infuse your water with flavor without adding any calories. Next is drink water before, during, and after exercise. During exercise, it's important to drink water before, during, and after to replace fluids that you lose through sweating. Next is drink water first. Before you drink any other beverages, reach for a glass of water first. This will help you stay hydrated and it will fill you up so you won't be as hungry. Next is spread out your fluid intake evenly through the day. Don't wait until you're thirsty to start drinking. By the time you're thirsty, you're already mildly dehydrated. So spread out your fluid intake throughout the day, and this will help you stay ahead of thirst. And then finally, monitor your urine. Urine is a good indicator of hydration status. If your urine is pale yellow or clear, you're probably well hydrated. If it's dark yellow, you probably need to drink more. Well, I hope that answers the question of how much water should you drink daily. But if you have any questions at all about hydration, leave them in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.